Watching, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. These crime busters run, no victims left to pay. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody, and we're back. How is everybody doing? Gigi, yes, Gigi is a new member. Welcome in, Gigi. We're so happy to have you. Get this off of here. All right. And our ginger girl, thanks for being you, Granny. She's been a member for 7 months. Awesome. Ginger, I appreciate you so much. So much. All right. Bobby, thank you. Yes, everybody, please hit the like button. It does help the channel. Hello, Lori. Walla. I signed up on Discord, but I don't have anything going on there. No. Not a huge fan. All right, let's see. Hello, Fran. Welcome in. We're happy to have you. Trees, hello. Ariel, good to see you. Prayer Warrior, hello. All right. So, do our spotlight on the missing for this section. Jaden Totten, missing since July 10th, 2025, last seen in Peoria, Illinois, 16-year-old male. Nice looking young man. That's all the information we had about Jaden. So, if anybody knows anything, please call the Peoria, Illinois Police Department or 911. The only thing we did have was 2 pictures, which is kind of different, but that's a good thing. At least we had decent pictures for Jaden, but these kids, they need to be brought home, right? They need to be home. Let's not forget Jonathan Wang. No new news on Jonathan. Last sighting possibly seen in Kirkland, Washington. And when you look at the old photo and then you look at the recent footage on the right, really does look a lot like him. So I'm sure they used the old photo with a blue shirt just to kind of help everybody see, what he looks like. But Jonathan is 21 years old. He is high functioning autistic, but does present as only a 10-year-old. He does respond to his name. If anybody knows or seen him, please call 911 immediately. Of course, we just got off a live stream about Sebastian and Seth. Had our crying Jag. Seriously. But yes, Sebastian needs to come home. So please, Ginger, if you wouldn't mind sharing that link again in this chat for Sebastian. Everybody, please share this flyer to email it to 10 people and ask them to email it to 10 people. Let's do this for Seth. That's what he's asking us to do. It's the very least that we can do, guys, to get Sebastian's name and face out there. Seth is currently following up on every tip himself. Okay. And then we have Travis Decker, who is still wanted, still hasn't been found. We don't know if he's dead or alive. Wanted for taking the lives of his 3 beautiful little girls, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, seen there with their mother. So 3 counts of first-degree red rum and first-degree kidnapping he is wanted for. He is considered to be armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach. Call 911 immediately. Was last known to be in the Leavenworth, Washington, Wenatchee area. Could be anywhere by now, in my opinion. So, all right. Let's see what we got going on here. Hello, Melissa. Good to see you. Neuro, welcome in. All right. Yes. Mr. Seth Rogers, the grieving father of missing teen Sebastian Rogers, would like you to help him find his son. Please email this flyer to 10 friends and ask them to email it to 10 friends. That's all he's asking us to do, guys. So let's help Seth out, okay? Get Sebastian home. Get Sebastian home. Aw, that's awesome. Okay, so yes, if anybody else is coming in that did receive, Gigi bought 5 memberships, so please thank her if you received one. Neural is currently thanking her and appreciate that, Neural. All right, so guys, let me share my screen with you. So last night, at the very last minute, I decided to cancel my live stream. Why did I do that? Because there were 2 separate channels that were going on at the same time that we normally go on, who have more subscribers and were putting out newer information about this case. So I thought, I'm not going to try to compete. I'm not going to try to pull people from there. Just cancel it for tonight, and we would talk about it, for last night, and we would talk about it tonight. So I call it recent chaos because that's what it is. Everything that came out yesterday, in my opinion, is just more chaos. So Janie is talking, right? Cover Granny's butt time. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, okay. So Luminous, are you the one that is friends with Daniel's girlfriend? And if that's the case, let's see. I'm glad you're in here because I don't want to put wrong information up. So if she doesn't have children, I appreciate you telling us that. Exactly. More chaos. It's never ending. Appreciate it. Chaos and lies. Yes, I agree with you 100%. That's why I sat back and hello, Tammy, welcome in. So that's why I sat back and watched last night instead of pulling everybody off when they probably wanted to go watch it, right? So what we heard on another channel last night is not true then, Luminous. You are her friend and she doesn't have children. All right, then let's take this off of there. Okay. So then, because Luminous, the last thing I would ever want to do is continue to promote misinformation, right? Okay. So that was the next thing. Janie is talking. She evidently talked in a private chat or something. Okay. So anything that is said from that private chat, obviously, it's going to be hearsay. Okay. Now, another channel brought out the fact that Daniel has a new girlfriend. Luminous is a friend to that girlfriend. And I get that. Wow. So did they maybe look up somebody on Facebook or something and then made assumptions? I don't know, you know. So here, since you're telling us that we're going to say she doesn't have any children, right, chat? That's just what we're going to do. Luminous, is it true that she said she would not turn him in if he was guilty? If he was found guilty, or if he admitted to her he was guilty, that she would not turn him in? Is that true? I even tried asking a couple questions and I was ignored, but that's fine. I probably would have been told a lie anyhow. You tried what, Bobby? You mean last night? You were ignored? So Luminous, I'm hoping that everyone that sees it in here will realize that she does not have children. Okay, guys, just to make it known, Daniel's girlfriend does not have children. Okay, it's out of control. It's crossing lines. I agree. She would not turn on him. Okay. What's right on text, Tammy? Yes, don't use full names in chat, please. We are going to, guys, we want, you know, honestly, Daniel's girlfriend is not a part of this. Um, Obviously, allegedly, she didn't know anything about it. She wasn't with him at the time. So, okay. Well, I am going to say one thing, guys. I'm finding it harder to keep up. And you know that I like to talk to each and every one of you and show um your your statements on my panel, but it you know it getting harder and harder for me to keep up. So I can imagine when somebody has several hundred people in their chat that it does get hard to talk to people, but I will make a promise to every one of you that I will always try to you know acknowledge everybody if I possibly can. Okay, I may not be able to show or see every one of your chats, but I will always try to acknowledge you. I have been feeling guilty for being accusatory at this point in the investigation. I'm just now going to stick to clues that are factual. I agree with you, Anne. That's what we try to do here. The thing is, I kind of knew that this is exactly what was going to happen last night when I canceled our live, which I had no other reason to cancel it other than for that fact. There were two well-known channels that were going live at the same time that we go live, which always cuts down on our numbers. I also don't want you to feel pulled in one direction or another. I hate that. It's not something I like to do. And when they're saying they have breaking news, what am I going to do other than follow it and watch it, right? Thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. Turn on him means that she would not, well, turn him in my opinion. You were texting him, but you did not say she had kids. Yeah. Screenshots of text messages can be altered. And here's the thing, Tammy, okay? Even if I got those, all right, what is it going to prove? Is it going to bring Lily and Jack home? No. So I have no interest in getting those because it's not going to get Lily and Jack home. Okay? Yes, he menti, I'm aware. I agree with you, Luminous. And that worried me when I heard that, she had children. It scared me for the children's sake. Not because I think that Daniel did anything necessarily. I think he has guilty knowledge. I do. Just out there, I think he has guilty knowledge. But to say he's a red rummer, I'm not going to say that. So, but just, you're right. I mean, being around in that situation, not to mention the fact that there are CPS reports that we don't know what's in them. So that would make me hesitant to have any children around him for that reason. Yes. And Lori's right. Please don't mention other channels. Unspoken heart. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good thing right now, would it? From what you have read, they don't talk about Lily and Jack. Gotcha. Well, I mean, they're not his children. So it would not surprise me if he just doesn't want to move on with his life. I mean, that what getting a new girlfriend is about, moving on with his life. Malehya did leave him. She cut off all ties with him, took all traces of him off her Facebook page. She made a statement. He has every right to move on. Is it pretty quickly and pretty quickly to be saying, I love you? Yes, it is, in my opinion, but that's up to him, right? And her. Oh, and that's what I want everybody to do, Anne. Analyze the clues with me. We're Granny's Crime Busters, right? Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. And maybe next time I'll just stick to it because I think we're learning. So, Luminous, can I ask you this? And if you don't want to say, that's fine. Doesn't this kind of scare her? What she's learning about this case online, doesn't she think things are suspicious? Or I'm just curious. For every pot, there is a lid. And if he has a girlfriend, it's truly his decision by rights. It is. I think that people are just questioning the quickness of a new girlfriend and saying, I love you, right? It's like there's no breathing room between Malehya and a new girl. If I were the new girl and I found out all this stuff after the fact, I'd be like, I'm sorry, maybe somewhere down the road, but not right now. When all this is settled, maybe then we can talk. That'd be what I'd say. True crime is analyzing what we know to figure out what happened to missing children. Exactly. And what we know means what we know to be a fact, right? We can take some of the things that are being said to try to fill in puzzle pieces, but if they really don't fit, or if that person has shown themselves to not be truthful, then we can't take that as being truthful or a fact, right? My opinion on their relationship has changed over 2 days. I will say that. Give it time. Gotcha. I think personally, the big piece of knowledge Dan kept saying existed but couldn't say is that Malehya walked the kids to the road. I don't think Luminous would know that because Daniel and the girlfriend are not talking about Jack and Lily. And so, Ementi, in my opinion, that didn't happen because there's no proof or factual evidence that it happened. Hi guys, I was getting stuck last night on the beach, messaged by him, then the retort, beach pic by her tit for tat behavior. What? You lost me. But hi, Phoenix. You were getting stuck last night on the beach, message by him. Oh, then the report, beach pic by her tit for tat behavior. Oh, I never thought of it from that angle, Phoenix. Okay, he did say, I want her to think about our time on the beach, kind of, I'm paraphrasing, right? And then she shared, her girlfriend shares a picture of her at the beach. Are they talking back to each other? I mean, without saying anything? I don't know. Good point, Phoenix. I gotcha. I agree, Ann Elizabeth. They both have guilty knowledge. I really do think they both have guilty knowledge. The two shirts and how they could frame him is alarming. Why say that if there's nothing to worry about? Evidently he's worried about it, right? Or he wouldn't even bring it up, in my opinion. Both have each other in silent hostage with the knowledge. Yeah. Are they sending each other subtle tips? Reminding each other to be quiet? I said it the night before last. I'm going to say it again. I honestly do not believe that Malehya nor Daniel are very strong as far as internally. And one of them or both of them are going to eventually crack, in my opinion. But internally, I don't think either one of them. I'm just going to put this out there. I really feel that Daniel reminds me of my ex. Cannot be alone for any length of time, has to have a woman. And not necessarily to cook and clean for him, but codependent, very codependent, because he's already jumped into a new relationship, right? If it's true that she has a new relationship, then same thing for her. We don't know if that's true or not, but I don't think either one of them are very strong internally. And I honestly feel that one or both of them will break. Yeah, that's what I thought, Luminous. Um, and I appreciate you being here to answer the questions that chat's asking you. But the best thing is that if you did know something, and I realize that chat is asking you questions, and chat, please hear me out, okay? I would tell you that if you did know something that was important to the case, don't say it here, okay? I'm a strong believer in things shouldn't be aired on YouTube. They should go directly to RCMP or the law enforcement agency that's in charge, whatever case we're talking about, right? That's why you don't see me pulling family, trying to get people on. It causes the chaos that's on the screen right now, right? And it doesn't help solve the case. It doesn't. And regardless of what other people say, it's not because I'm jealous that some other creator had somebody on. That's fine. I'm thinking about the children and the case as a whole with law enforcement and what all that causes. It causes chaos. And I think it makes law enforcement's job harder. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but thank you for being here. We really do appreciate you being in here, feeling safe enough to come in here to talk. From what I understand, Prayer Warrior, she doesn't live right near him, But with the internet nowadays, you can find anybody, right? I mean, it could have been on a dating app, could have been, I mean, we don't know, right? The world's a lot smaller than you might think, right? When you're talking dating apps and you can put in locations and things like that, pretty simple. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Ginger. Please use IMO and allegedly in your comments. We gather facts and respectfully hypothesize, collaborate, and speculate on crime cases. We are not LE or licensed investigators. Everything is our opinion only. Do not take anything here as fact, guys. Um, we do try to, um, stick to the facts for that reason. But yeah, Anne Elizabeth, I would be scared, Luminous. Yeah, I would report. I appreciate that. Um, and the fact what Anne Elizabeth said about being scared, yeah, I think, Luminous, if I was a friend of someone that started dating Daniel, I'd be afraid for them, honestly. Um, and, like I said, I don't believe he's a red rummer. I don't know if he's capable, but I do feel he has inside knowledge. And the fact that he would quickly turn to another woman so fast when it wasn't that long ago that he said in text, which was proven that it was him, that he still loved Malehya. So I'd be, if I were in your shoes, I would be very, very concerned about her, right? Having said that, every, every person has their own mind, so you can't, you can take the facts to her, you can tell her what you think, but you can't, it's going to be her choice in the end. I get that. The clean ATV, the shirts, the tit for tat comments, the deflection. Yeah, I agree. Here for the children, not the parents' dating statistics or image, but it helps to know the details. Yeah. And I mean, seriously, I only talk about the stuff that's coming out because I want you guys to realize I know what's being said out there. I'm staying up on the case, right? Because if any of these little chaos pieces come out later and prove to be true, then we can say, oh yeah, okay, we did hear that, now we can put that puzzle piece into place. But so there's nothing wrong with talking about what it is, but recognizing that what it is chaos, right? Recognizing that right now it's just chaos. Okay, let me see. All comments made by Phoenix are allegedly. Good point. Okay. If Daniel knew in the first place he was lying for Malehya, he should have told the truth. I agree. Hello, Joanne. Welcome in. Hello, Sandra. I know lots of good-looking, non-suspicious guys who don't get new girlfriends that quickly. I hear you. I hear you. Right. I don't know. Yeah, about coercive control. I hear ya. Nothing in this case fully makes sense. It's muddy. Muddy, muddy, muddy. Yeah, he did say that. Methinks he doth protest too much. Trees. I heard that ATV is an old picture as well, allegedly. It could be. It could be. Just like the picture of Malaya, you know. Okay, Luminous. I like how you're being reserved, Granny. A lot of others act like arbiters of truth. Um, I don't call it being reserved, but I get what you're saying. Um, I just really do like to try to stick to the facts. Um, seriously, I mean, I would never want to be guilty, Ementi, of putting something across like as though it's true when it's, you know, when I don't know that. Um, and then having to backtrack later. I mean, I can think of just in this case alone how creators have said one thing and then totally turned about face and said something else without blinking an eye. um, I just don't do that here because I try to stick with the facts, right? So things can go either way as far as I'm concerned. And until we have more facts with this case, yeah, I I will never, everybody has the right to their own opinion, you know. So I'm not here. I'm here to discuss it with you and try to figure things out. That's what I'm here for, kind of to lead the discussion. Does that make sense? That's what I'm here for. So I really feel as though um I'm not here to be a proclaimer of truth or trying to get everybody to think the way that I think, right? I'm here to lead the discussion, make sure it doesn't get hateful, build a family. That's kind of what that's what I'm hoping for this channel. So, um, I hope that makes sense, Ementi. Doubt that pic is old. Daniel has his bright orange sneakers on. You know, anybody can say anything, right? Oh, that's an old picture. We are all following the case closely, so we observe and recognize all the chaos. And we do, right? Those of us who are following it closely, but there are those people who are gullible, or who maybe don't spend every day online or don't follow the case every day, and then they come along and listen to somebody and think that everything is totally different than what the facts are, right? So I think that's why it's important to point out the chaos, right? Yes, all information shared with me will be kept confidential. Um, cooking tacos. Yes, I had a taco salad today. It was yum yum. Love taco salad. Thank you, Anne. I appreciate that more than you know. Very good point, Phoenix. Nothing wrong at all about talking about the small things, but hopefully we don't miss anything that guys are trying to send us off in all different directions. I agree with you because what's going on, guys? What happened in Sebastian's case? Distraction upon distraction, hate, obstacle channels, lawsuits, cease and desist. It went nuts. It went nuts so badly that I think every creator was afraid of a lawsuit. I'm not going to lie. And what does that do? It distracts from Sebastian. So that's why I determine when I talk about Sebastian, it's because I have something to talk about. And I put out his picture every day, and my porch is lit up green for him. I don't forget about him, right? So, and it's going to be the same way with Lily and Jack, right? We're never going to forget until they're home. There's many people appearing from nowhere. Who's next? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Neuro. I appreciate that. To catch the big bass, you have to get into the weeds. Yep. Yep. That's very true. Ask for a timestamp on the HEV pic. It will have date and time. Yeah, that's true. While you're having today's Monday. Why is everybody having tacos? Isn't it Taco Tuesday? And I'm no one to talk because I had taco salad today. That's funny, guys. At the very least, if he knew they were not in the woods and suspected the mom, they should be billed for the search. Yeah. Here's my take on it, Phoenix. Him and mom both knew they weren't in the woods. Seriously. Something accidental happened to these children and they covered it up. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. That's a good point, Ginger. Hang on a second, guys. Okay, sorry. Had to sneeze. If Daniel believes the children are alive, why does he keep asking for cadaver dogs that have already been on the ground? Yeah. Do I think they will solve this case soon? I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Even if someone confesses, they still have to do their due diligence, right? So I don't know. I hope so, Tammy. I really hope so. I'm so terribly confused. Some channels don't trust and believe in AtNight and team, stating others aren't reporting correctly that they're still real. Seth hasn't said not to believe in them. Seth is still using them. So, Joanne, here's what I'm going to tell you. Many of you that were here in the beginning with Sebastian's case know that Nick, one of AtNight's people, used to come in here quite often. That was before a cease and desist went out and he couldn't talk about the case anymore. Nick was very kind. I shared some tips with Nick that I got. Nick wanted to know what my thoughts were, genuinely wanted to know what my thoughts were regarding Sebastian's case. He made me a moderator in one of his groups on Twitter. So I can tell you that AtNight is very real. Nick is a very real person. I actually first got to know about Nick during the Danilo Cavalcante case. I watched him during that search, that manhunt for Danilo Cavalcante. And so, I mean, I knew that he was real, that he was a live person, and that he cared about missing persons, right? Cases. So when he took on Sebastian's case and he came in here, seriously, I mean, I have conversed with him by email. So he's, I can tell you he is a real live person. He genuinely has a heart for the missing. He has a heart for Seth. He was in Seth's live last night, by the way. He was. So, and he can't talk about the case, but he put a bunch of green hearts, right? Nothing wrong with that. So, I know it's mostly the obstacle channels who do not believe AtNight, but I know there are others who for whatever reason don't agree with them or something. But I'm not going to come against them or Nick, because Nick has only been nothing but kind and helpful. In fact, he shared my channel on his page, and my channel grew because of it. So Nick is a very nice guy, in my opinion. And I don't know Hong. Hong is a director of One World, which is AtNight is a subsidiary of One World. Hong is rich. I think he's he's the go-to guy. In my opinion, Hong is quite the personality. That's all I'll say about Hong. I don't get his sense of humor. But having said that, I do feel that Nick has a heart towards Sebastian, 100%. And he's a sweetheart, in my opinion. Hopefully this new girlfriend was put in his life for a reason besides love. I don't know. No, haven't you figured it out yet? Daniel lies. His story keeps changing. His story keeps changing. That's why you cannot run with anything that Daniel says. And in fact, I would go as far to say as don't even give it a second thought, because he keeps changing the story, lying on top of lies, and then lying on top of those lies. It's bad. Voila, I could walk 5,000 miles. I think if it comes out of their mouth, then it would be considered fair game. um, I don't know about that, Phoenix. um, yeah. After what I've seen in the Sebastian Rogers case, I would say that that is not true. Nothing is fair game anymore, in my opinion. A lot of people don't even have Dan's texts that have been made public, and you mentioned what he said in one of them, and people think you're Dan or his brother, Justin. I've had people think that I'm Dan. What? So I see what you're saying. So they are forming opinions with, yes, they are forming opinions with low info. So anyway, the ones that I have shown, were from his account. So either he said it or someone hacked his account. That's all I've got to say about that. But yes, some people are forming opinions with low info. Absolutely. Absolutely. And some people will do that. There are all kinds of people in this world. Why do you think that we call them the obstacle channels? Because I think Ginger, let me know if I'm right, but I believe it was Seth who said, don't worry about those people. They're just obstacles. Obstacles we have to move from our path, right? And so from that point on, here at Granny's Crime Busters, we call them the obstacle channels, right? So it's just a little nicer word than saying the hate channels, okay? But there are people who like to follow that kind of drama, and they will believe the least little thing that you tell them. If it sounds good to them, they'll believe it. You know, if they like a person, they will believe anything that person says. That's why I tell you on here, I don't, don't believe me. Look at the facts, follow the facts, do your own due diligence. I'm just the leader of the discussion, right? Do I have my own thoughts and opinions? Yeah, but I don't expect you to have the same. I cannot watch Flip Flop. Yeah, not to be trusted. Oh, wow. That's sad. That's really sad. I get attacked a lot, but it's made me try to be a lot more objective. Yeah. You have to kind of let it roll off your back when you're online, or else don't say anything, right? Because, yeah, it just isn't worth it. I may watch other people's lives, but you rarely see me say anything. rarely see me say anything. So, Luminous, does your friend ever say what she thinks happened to Lily and Jack? She has theories. The tittle tattle is open for speculation, but when it is quoted by them verbally or by posting, yeah. I agree with you, right? I agree that when the tittle tattle is made out to be almost fact, then that's where the problem begins, right? We changed it, huh, Cheryl? Hello, Cheryl. It's now Taco Monday instead of Taco Tuesday. You read all their messages on Messenger. Gotcha. Hello, Bobby England. Good to see you. No one is cleared until the babies are found and truth comes out because none of us really know what happened. It's true. We don't know. We do not know what happened. Your words are coming out jumbled. Yes, they are. I'm trying to read it right now, and I'm like, what are you talking about? No, we haven't really gotten into that yet, Sandra, what Janie has said. Basically, because until the CBC interview comes out, I mean, what she talked in a private chat, and so it's being repeated. That's hearsay. I The point is she's talking, right? So um I'm not gonna take hearsay. You know, just not gonna do it. Um because you know yourself, okay? You played the game in school. The teacher tells something to the first student and says, okay, spread it on down. And by the time it gets to the last person in the classroom, what the teacher said is completely different. And that's why I won't take it. That's why hearsay is not allowed in a court of law, right? Boy, Phoenix, you're not letting go of the fact that um, about Malehya sending the kids out. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. I just don't believe it. And do you honestly think that she would have the wherewithal then? And she wanted to get away from Daniel herself. So why didn't she get in the car with the kids then? I mean, that whole scenario does not make any sense to me at all. At all. Um, Good question. Very good question. I don't know why he does. I don't know. I think because he started in the beginning talking to Charmaine, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ginger. Your first impression is key when you lie, especially in a children missing case. Your credit is shot. Absolutely. And remember this, guys, things that we have learned from statement analysis, right? Things that we have learned. A lie is hard to remember. Your brain doesn't absorb it. Your brain stores experiential memory, which means that it stores things that you have experienced. Okay. So when you're trying to, the best that you can do is go by a script, which we know they had because they both said the same script, except that Daniel said it was him instead of Malehya. So their script got flipped, right? Daniel flipped it. Hard to remember a lie. Your brain cannot deal with it. I really, really learned that concept when Deception Detective talked about it in Sebastian's case. He picked it out with Katie. She would start talking and she would slip into experiential memory, and either she'd realize it or Chris would cough or do something to shake her out of it, and then she'd go back to script again. Ementi, what do you mean by a meaningful update? Please tell me you don't want them to give information that would jeopardize the case. Meaningful. Guys, I know. We want to know what happened. We do. But we can't know. We cannot know. We don't want the case jeopardized. Whenever this goes to trial, because trust me, I believe that it will, I want a conviction. I don't know about you, but I want a conviction. Jump as. Aren't search and rescue dogs cross-trained? I don't think so. You mean to be cadaver dogs? I don't think so. I've never heard of that. That's right, Tammy. They can't. They are still working on the case. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that they told Tammy. Okay. They can't discuss the details. Guys, please, we do not want them to discuss the details. We really do not. I know we want to know more. I know we want to know it all yesterday. But that's not going to happen. And seriously, all you have to do to know that our CMP is doing a good job is go and watch Seth's live last night and watch how angry and disappointed and discouraged he is from the law enforcement agency that's working on the case for his son. It'll break your heart. It really will. Yeah, we might get an update when the CBC reaches out to them for comments on Janie's interview. That's true. That ought to be interesting. Hey, here's a question for you guys. Here's a really good question for you guys. So we know that what Daniel said about Malehya being in bed, right? Because he flipped the script. Do you hear Jack and Lily? And what Janie said about seeing Malehya out in the driveway with Meadow and hearing the kids before that, two different stories. Do you think that Janie's going to stick to that same story? Or is she going to flip just like her son did? What do you think? Yes, I agree with you, Phoenix. Brutal waste of resources, and they're going to be held liable for that. If they lied about the kids being in the woods, they will be liable. Dogging at night as Seth would be lost in case cold. I agree with you, Neural. At night is largely investigative. That's right, Prayer Warrior. They ask questions and our opinions, but they don't share details that could hinder the efforts. Exactly right. Nick never shared details with me. He asked my thoughts, my opinions on the case. I shared details. One of those details was that, and I shared it here, that I really believe that Chris was at TRH that night. But I sent it to them first. So, and their answer to me, and this was AtNight answering me, not Nick. Great catch. So, just saying. Yes. Criminal investigations are usually not quick. I mean, think about it. The Dan Markel case. It's 10 years later, and Donna Adelson hasn't even gone to trial yet for her role in that red rum. So, yes, it takes a while. I hate it. I don't like it, but that it is what it is. Sadly, Missy said that she was in town where the families live and there were no posters or flyers up anywhere. Wow, that's sad. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree, Truth and Broody, and welcome in. They both seem codependent. Yes, they do. They really do. Yes, digital forensics can take months alone. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Don't look at me. I asked for and offered absolutely everything. Oh, yeah. Don't look over here. Look elsewhere. Right? Look at Malehya. You know, who is all talking out? He's got Mr. Bewitch talking for him. He's got his mom coming out of the woodwork now talking for him. He had Logan talking for him. He's on panels. Well, he's not on. He's in chat rooms, but he says he can't come up on panel because he's not supposed to be talking. Yeah. but he still does, right? Look at the backlash of people he has. Now, yes, you had Haley come out, um, Malehya's sister, right? And Cheryl. Um, but they, if you think about it, they haven't said a whole lot, right? Nothing to the amount that Bewitched, um, now Janie, right? Yeah, Logan have said for Daniel and Daniel himself, right? Distractions, my opinion. I told Daniel since he had no stapler, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart is open. Oh, doesn't have any money, maybe. Maybe he could order it from Timu. Oh gosh. Yucky, yucky. No, thank you. Yeah. He has a different story every time as he is the lead role of the Netflix series in his head. Yeah. As if Netflix would pick anything up like this quickly. Oh my gosh. If the RCMP has no urgency, it says they don't think the kids are alive or they'd be asking for footage from the public in areas that they could be brought to. Why not use a public tool? They have asked for the footage from the public and they've gotten hundreds of hours of video from that they're trying to comb through. It takes time. So they already have Ementi. Um, I would not say that they have no urgency. I think they want this case solved as well, but it takes time to go through everything. What a lame excuse sets an answer, in my opinion. Why put up posters if you know where what happened to Lily and Jack, in my opinion? I agree. And you know what I like in that too, Osprey? So today, earlier when I did my live about Sebastian, and we listened to Seth ask everybody to email 10 flyers to 10 of their friends and ask those 10 friends to email it to 10 of their friends. Keep it going, right? Get his name out there. It's the quickest way to do it, right? So, um, I forgot what I was going to say just that quickly. Oh, so Seth is asking for all that, but you know, never hear Chris and Katie asking for anything. It's like they don't even care, right? In other words, in their opinion, why put up posters? Because they know where he is. That's what I think. It's a good point. He said he found a stapler. My gosh. Why? Um, I don't know. Why even talk about a stapler? Uh, That's an excuse. It was only like 3 days in, and they pretty much thought they weren't alive. So I have felt that from the beginning. Yeah, they have asked for public's help several times. Yeah, the reward says they want info for what led to their appearance. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. I personally think the woodwork mob are being inserted by certain channels and told to go on to others. Yeah, I've seen that happen too, Lori. It's that's why I just stay away. It it's just easier. It's not because I'm unsocial. It's not at all. It's not because I don't like creators. It's not anything to do with that. It's just easier to stay out of the garbage. The fact channel. Hello, Julie, artfully open. Welcome in. Such a sad case. I really had gut feelings that Malehya was not telling the truth in her only TV interview. Daniel seemed to want to just be out there searching and was upset. Yep. In the beginning, I felt that as well until Daniel kept talking and his story kept changing. Um, and I think we've all had gut feelings about Malehya. From everything that we have watched on with statement analysis, the professionals, I really feel both of them have guilty knowledge. I have to go back to the fact that um, they both knew that something accidentally happened to the children. They covered it up. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I cannot for the life of me understand if Jamie claims she heard them in the morning. The only thing it could be someone picked them up on the road. What else could this be? Anyone? A lie, Tammy? A lie. Let's wait and see what narrative she comes up with on the CBC channel. Okay? Um I don't believe that Janie's telling the truth in my opinion. I mean, yes. So Daniel's girlfriend has theories, and yes, she's close to Daniel. Those theories might matter. She's not going to share them, obviously. I get that. Honestly, I don't want to know what her theories are. Um, oh, well, we're glad you decided to come out and join the crew. Welcome in. It's more American style to be giving constant updates. Not in Sebastian's case. The the RCMP have given more updates than Sumner County ever even thought of doing. A perfect example would be Belinda's embarrassing situation she was basically indirectly pushed into doing. You mean with the chief? So, yeah. And that was another chaos situation, right, guys? Chaos. Okay. I think that Belinda is a mom or a grandma who wants to find out what happened to the kids. Did she make an error in judgment and not trying to push Malehya more during that year and a half? Yes. And I'm sure nobody is kicking herself more than Belinda for that. Right? I'm sure. So let's let that go, guys. Your thoughts and your opinions on that are your own, okay? But yeah, she was trying. She's not. Here's what I see. She's not taking what Bewitched said as fact, right? She's testing it out, trying to find out if it's true or not, right? That's all she asked for. And yeah, it blew up in her face. I feel bad for her for that. I really do. But I'm not going to get into all of that. And the reason that I'm not going to get into all that is because the racism card was played. And I'm not going to go there in this case. Racism has nothing to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Just leave it at that. Yes. Yes, truth and beauty. Rugs can cause behavior changes. Absolutely. Oh, you have arthritis. I'm sorry. Struggle to type. I gotcha. Well, that's hard. From what I understand, Janie and the crew are just throwing out theories. This means the RCMP will have to disprove them, and this will slow down the investigation. I agree, 100%. I agree. Why are they coming out of the woodwork now? Why? That's true because it could be lies coming out, and here we're thinking it's true. Yep. Guys, I'm going to tell you, there are very little facts in this case. The first biggest fact, Daniel and Lily are gone, and they didn't just poof. That's a fact. The second fact is their boots are gone too. The third fact is the backpack is gone too. What else do we know? Not a whole lot. I agree with you, Truth and Beauty. I agree. I think. But here's my question to all you moms out there. If your son, and you, let's say this, if your son, and you knew that your son was guilty, if your son was guilty and you knew he was guilty, would you protect him from the law? Let's put it this way, son or daughter. Curious. The stapler got you, huh? You knew it was an excuse. You feel that Darren saying that maybe we're picked up by the mom's friends could be very true. You're entitled to your opinion, Julie. We have watched Statement Analysis, and I don't feel that anything that we call him Bewitched here, that Darren Durwood Bewitched says is true at all. You know, there's too many holes in that story. Who's going to, I mean, seriously, put themselves in danger criminally by keeping kids this long? Who is going to be able to afford to do that? Who is going to be able to keep them hidden for this long? Just and then why didn't Malehya and Meadow go with? Just too many holes in Bewitched story. And the other part, I'm with the RCMP. I find it very hard to believe that the children are alive. We don't have much else, do we? Because we don't know what RCMP knows. I mean, seriously, we don't know what the RCMP knows. So, I mean, we've got Daniel and Janie's stories don't match. Daniel keeps lying on top of his lies on top of his lies. It's hard. I still haven't seen any channels do a good breakdown on what Janie has said. There's even some private chat. Yep. Exactly. So anything that they're saying from that private chat is hearsay. Ementi. And the reason that you haven't seen any channels do a good breakdown on what she said is because she has said everything off. You know, she's not in. She's saying it off panel. Okay. So you can't, you know, that's why I said I want to see the CBC footage, because then we actually see it coming out of her mouth, right? What sticks in my mind was her saying that Jack didn't like walking in the woods and would have to be carried. Yeah, that's evidently what she said in the private chat. I think if you do a show and you go back over and there's like dates and times, verification witnesses, that kind of stuff, it would be way awesome to know that, and we wouldn't be confused. Well, I'm just as confused as the rest of you. And the reason that I haven't done that, Phoenix, is because I will I will not take Daniel's word for anything for fact because he has lied. Everybody has said that, even those that have talked to him. Okay. Even Darren has said he lied. Um, Janie's story differs from Daniel's. So how can we take, how do we know she's telling the truth? Malehya, there's been questions. Many of you have said you don't have a good gut feeling about it. Deception detective said there's guilty knowledge there. So what are we going to take as fact? Except what comes from RCMP, which isn't much yet, right? Since Daniel came on the scene, it all went wacky. I agree. I agree with you, Julie. I don't believe either Malehya or Daniel are red rummers at all. But I think something accidentally happened, in my opinion. I agree with you, Phoenix. I don't think there was any kind of money abduction, nothing like that, in my opinion. In my opinion, honestly, I knew right away they were not in woods. Reason being, RCMP were there in minutes. They have little feet. They can't go far in 12 minutes. Well, it wouldn't have been 12 minutes, but you're right. You're right. They would not have gone. They would have found them. I agree with you, Joanne. People can have their own opinions and be respectful of others. Right. I hope you're not thinking I'm doing that because I'm not, surely not meaning to be. That's a good point. If you fibbed to me once, you have no credibility with me anymore. Could be brain fog influenced by others over time, drug related, memory slips. Gotcha. I don't believe abduction. I'm stuck with Janie's story. And also not buying the day before. They would have been seen by footage. Typos. I agree with you, Trees. RCMP know a lot, plus investigators. I'm glad they are saying nothing right now. Yeah. We all feel that we are not being told the truth. So many weird things. Why would mom leave dad if they did something? They stick together. Um, like the Proudfoots. From what I hear, though, the Proudfoots really have not been together, except now they are because of Faith. Um, but I heard they were living in different places. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, let's think about that a second, right? Um, I don't know. I think that it would be. I don't know how I would feel. I guess because I wouldn't do it. You would think they'd stick together, right? I don't know. You turned on your oven. Oh, goodness. Well, I bet it was good, though. It had cheese on toast. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I did want to clarify that, guys. So, because we had talked about the potholes, right? Well, evidently that's not true. She was scraped, but the fact that she was taking gravel from behind her trailer was true. I was right about that part. But they were trying to level out the driveway because they were going to put in a kiddie pool for the kids. And I was going to say, if you believe that, I've got land in London I can sell you. No, good call because that's exactly true. Only recorded quotes and proof in pics. Right, Emenchi? Has it been Janie's story from day one? Well, RCMP would know that though, Emenchi, right? No doubt Janie will do a U-turn. Yeah, that's a really good point, Bobby. I don't think they would have offered 150,000 bucks if they don't think something bad has happened to the children. Really good point. Thank you, Tammy. That's I try to, right? I try to make sure we're all respectful. That's a good point, Joanne. Daniel has his own narratives, some contradictory, but we're not hearing from Malehya at all. Nope, we're not. I don't think we're going to. Me too, Sandra. Her heart tells her the kids are gone. I agree. I think the mom is involved, but I don't think she took them. And I think he knows and she knows, but there's no way she removed them from that property and put them somewhere else. Yeah. I think he removed them from the property and put them somewhere else, in my opinion. Janie was filling potholes because she doesn't want the RCMP to break an axle when they come back. You think she cares about the RCMP trees? Hello, Fran. Good to see you. Why did the mom leave like she did? She left everything behind. Yeah, that's $1 million question, isn't it? We questioned why Katie left. Now we got another mother who did the same thing. We've discussed that DV could be a possibility. Control, according to what she had told Belinda about Daniel not allowing her to bring the kids over to see Belinda, and Daniel didn't want her to give Belinda their address. That kind of suggests, a DV kind of control. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to know, isn't it? I don't know. And she made a statement because when she left, I mean, then it wasn't long. I don't even know if it was 24 hours. Her Facebook, she removed everything that had anything to do with Daniel, and she put her status as single. So, that was quite the statement to make. Not only that, then Daniel said that she is ignoring his calls, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't know, other than her, she's not telling us, right? So it's hard to know what the truth is there. Oh, bless your heart, Julie. I know. I think we'd all like to hope that they are safe somewhere, but the reason that I don't believe that they're with us anymore is because this is the first case since I've, started talking about true crime that I've actually heard law enforcement come out and say that they didn't, right from the beginning, that they didn't believe the children could possibly be alive. So I've never heard that before. They usually will not commit themselves to that, right? So they know something we don't know, guys, in my opinion. And that's the only reason I've gone with that. Look at, we're 16 months, almost 17 months into Sebastian's disappearance, and I'm standing with his dad believing that he's alive. Many other people would not believe that after 16, almost 17 months. So for me to go to this assumption is only because law enforcement have said that. Otherwise, I'm the type of person who will believe right up until the end. Yeah, as far as the night before, too many discrepancies. It's hard to know what happened. Did they make it home from wherever they were on May 1st? If they didn't, what happened? What happened? Daniel and Malehya only talk about the morning of the 2nd. They don't tell you what happened the day before. Why is that? What are they hiding? If Daniel actually thought the mom took him, wouldn't be worried about being framed with some shirts because he knows they were okay. I think he is worried about being framed with the shirts because I think the kids were wrapped in the shirts or something. My opinion. Hello, Dolores. Good to see you. Tammy RCMP said they were seen, and it was 2 different RCMP officials that came out and said it, but they wouldn't give any more details than that. They wouldn't tell us where, they wouldn't tell us who they were with, nothing. So, in my opinion, that is a fact that they were seen, or RCMP wouldn't say it. Why did mom just leave everything? Yeah, a good question. And what would make sense to that question, Fran, is GV. If I've been in DV situation, and there's many of our women in here that have been as well. If you're concerned about your life, the last thing you're going to worry about is material possessions. Seriously. I have left everything behind myself, so that's the only answer I can give. Am I right? I don't know. No, they weren't. The holes weren't dug for a pool. They were trying to level it out for a pool. They were trying to level an area for a kiddie pool. But yeah, I mean, I agree. We don't know if that's all true. And God only knows what Daniel was doing at the fence post in the dark and pouring rain. And seriously, why are you going to be leveling out the driveway for a kiddie pool in the pouring rain? I mean, come on. It it was still cold, right? It was still cold. That wasn't an emergent situation. You could wait till you had better weather. You Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's just so ridiculous if you think about it. If she says that in the CBC interview, I'm going to be laughing because it makes no sense. It was still cold. It was raining. It was night. It's not an emergency to level out the driveway for a kiddie pool. I will always maintain that they are not in the woods, that the mother did not remove them to another location, and that all of them out there. You know what? I completely agree with you, Phoenix, on all 3 points. They're not in the woods. The mother didn't remove them to another location, and that they all know something. Everybody that was there knows something. I agree with you. It would only cut his toenails, I know. Oh, it's a really good point, Sandra. Regarding wanting more info from RCMP, do we want the suspects to know what the police know? I don't. Not until the handcuffs are slapped on. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. You know what I found interesting, guys? I'm trying to remember. I think I heard it, but so don't take it for fact. But somebody said that Daniel thinks this is going to be a criminal investigation. What do you think about that? If that's indeed what he said, what do you think about that? I have no trust in Janie's statements because she is Dan's mom and she obviously didn't report the neglect of the children. I agree. I don't know if they have enough either in Sebastian's case or here to make an arrest. You want it to stick, right? You want a conviction. Oh man. I don't know. I TMI, TMI. I really don't care. If they don't have any tips or reason to believe that they're in a different province, and they're not gonna ask for information about that. If nothing leads them there, Menti. It would be a waste of time and resources. Daniel said that in chat last night that he believes it'll be a criminal investigation. That's true. Janie's not allowed to see her other grandchildren, according to CPS. Yes, justice for all of them. I agree with you, Lori. They're all lying. They're biased. They're defending one another, right? He just found a stapler after 2 months. Well, they did say the place was pretty messy. Maybe that's the one truth he's told, Tammy. I agree with you, Phoenix. If you were a participant that day and you allowed the searchers to go into the woods, then you publicly made it known you didn't even think they were there. What did that in itself be enough to wouldn't that in itself? I get what you're saying. It could be one of the charges, but guys, think about this. They're looking at red rum. Red rum, accident, accidental death. Um, guys, that's more important than obstruction of justice. Yeah, that's the reason he didn't put up posters. Exactly, Lori. Likes and subscribers. That's why they're getting airtime and they get what they want. They're causing distractions. Exactly. You're noticing a pattern. That's funny. Yes, two people can tell what happened to those kids. And might be three, possibly four. And the reason I say possibly four is that um, Daniel's brother Justin allegedly was going through a divorce and was staying there. We've heard back and forth that no, he lives, but I don't know. So whether he was there or not, I don't know for sure. But we do know that Janie did not go with her boyfriend. And so she was there. And so was Daniel and Malehya. Exactly, Sandra. I can't talk about the case, but I'll talk a little bit about it. And I shouldn't say it, but I will. And I don't want to jeopardize the investigation, but I will tell you this. Yeah. Yeah. And our CMP's looking at everything he's saying. Here today they have underwater drones. Yep. Janie's going to protect her son. Bye, Fran. Have a good night. I just will note, since Janie has spoken, a lot of Daniel hating creators have gone from Daniel to okay, maybe Daniel might be innocent. So I think it might be a little convincing. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Um, trust me, Ementi, I'm watching everything that's out there. I know what's out there. And I'm not, I mean, if you're looking for um hearsay, anything other than fact, you won't find it here. We can talk about what's being said, but I won't look at things as fact. I agree with you, Trees. I believe Linda too. Belinda. Yes. None of us want anybody getting off on a technicality. Wanted to believe Janie, reason being that was my hope for these kids to be alive. I getcha. Yeah. That's right. I don't like getting close to any suspect in any crime. Um, I don't want to be the cause of obstruction. That's why I try to stick with the facts. On the flip side of the coin, I want you guys to know that I do know what's going on. I do know what's being said. I listen too, right? And that's exactly what we've been talking about all night, right? It's been all the chaos, right? Things that Janie has said. Daniel has a girlfriend. How Daniel's girlfriend would not turn him in if he was guilty, right? I mean, we have talked about all the hearsay. And basically, the hearsay is all we have got, right? And Julie, I understand what you're saying. I really do. Um, I I am of the same mind. Um, but I don't want to get caught into any this that whole thing turned into a big racist argument, and I don't want to be a part of that, right? Um, because um, racism in itself has nothing to do with Jack and Lily being gone or what happened to them. If it turns out that that was part of it, I'll be the first one to say I'm sorry it was, right? But I'm I'm not going to get caught up in that kind of you know what I'm saying? I just cuz you know whenever that's brought up, it gets to be a big it's made into more than what it should be. And I think we saw that happen, right? Lori, I don't know. I don't know. But she's entitled to do what she wants, right? Your daughter is native. Gotcha. Gossip and sensationalism pays big bucks. Sure does. Sure does. I agree with you, Osprey. 100% for Jack and Lily and Meadow. Yeah, you bring up a good point, Meadow. Meadow is as important in this case now as almost as Jack and Lily, right? Only Malehya, Daniel, and the creator know the truth. Well, Janie and Justin might know as well, but I don't know for sure. And other people think by Janie's interview it's going to make a difference. No, it will not. No, it will not. Um, Seriously not, because oh my gosh, I want to hear it. I want to hear what she has to say. Is it going to make a difference? No. I want to hear if she um meshes with Daniels and changes her story. That's what I want to hear. Guys, where did we get the pothole theory from? So, I mean, where did that come from, right? Isn't that funny? We really, here at this channel, we really, really do. Guys, we're all very diligent about it. Not just me and Ginger, but you guys as well. You guys let me know about facts, right? You all tell me. How did we get caught up in the pothole theory? Where did that come from? I'm serious. Where did that come from? Was it something that was said and now has been changed? Is I'm just curious. When it sounds more like a self oh, that is so good, Phoenix. When it sounds more like a self-preservation story than a plea for help, it probably is self-preservation, right? Couldn't have said it better. What have we learned from Dee Dee or Mr. Yummy, right? What have we learned from him? When a missing child's parents are more worried about themselves than about getting help for their child, big red flag. Yes, he did one a week before Janie did, allegedly. The people involved are projecting and influencing people around them. I agree. Wow, Lori. We will need Kleenex when we hear Janie's story. Doubt it. I'm sorry. I doubt it. I thought I had some good comments to share, but I've been timed out of another show because I didn't follow the narrative. Wow. That's sad. That is sad. In my opinion, we are witnessing a distraction from a small community. I grew up in a small Canadian community where gossip and rumors were a source of entertainment for many. Jack and Lily deserve better. They absolutely do. Joanne, I wouldn't lie for them. I'd help them get a lawyer and still love them. But right is right and wrong is wrong. I agree with you. I would do the same. I would not lie for them. I would turn them in if that's what I had to do. Help them get a lawyer. Still love them, of course. But yes, right is right, wrong is wrong. You know who's going to be more interested in that, Ementi, is our CMP. Is her story going to be the same as what she told them? Dolores. Well, I mean, seriously, we tell him. He tells us his name is. He comes on screen as Durwood O'Grady, right? But then he tells us his name is Darren Geddes. Well, Darren and Durwood. All we could think of here was the show Bewitched. That's why I got that name, Bewitched, because Endora called her um, son-in-law Durwood. So we call him Bewitched. Grandma Bell, welcome in. Media often cuts pieces of an interview and very well could have done so with Malehya's. The media network who conducted Malehya's interview have been caught doing so multiple times before. It could be very well true. I agree. But what she did say was analyzed by a statement analysis, and there was some guilty knowledge there. Did we get the whole story? Probably not. Exactly. If they're being hidden, there are consequences for that behavior as well. Exactly. Um, I agree with you as well. Absolutely. She changes her story. At some point, they will hold her to accountable. How did Malehya not know Daniel's mom was there? No, I guess her car was there. That's why Janie's story doesn't add up, guys. Yeah, I know. What happened? Maybe he finally just realized she's not coming back to him. That's what they're saying. Are they lying? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Me too. And her statements. Absolutely. Info torture. I hear you. Why all the secrecy? That's my question, Ementi. Why all the secrecy? What are they all afraid of? Why all the secrecy? So for me, it's not info torture because I I don't know. Yep, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Yes. Guys, yeah, I don't want Belinda. Yeah, please don't. I agree with you, Treese. I can't take any of them at face value. Here's the thing, guys. If if you believe Darren and Janie, I don't know. I think about it. It's causing you confusion. Oh, Facts aren't confusing, guys. Lori, I agree, but that's her choice. Okay. So we can't help her. That's her choice. Everybody has their own choice of what they, who they trust, where they want to go. I agree with you, but I agree. I find it very odd that both Janie and Daniel began pointing fingers at Malaya once Daniel became suspicious to the RCMP. Think about it. Everything that's coming out right now, guys, from Bewitched, Janie, Logan, these are all distractions. I really honestly don't believe we can take not one iota of it seriously. I really do not think so. So wondering if Janie's car was there or not doesn't matter, in my opinion. You're going to drive yourself nuts. I'm just saying, you really are. Yes, he did say Malaya's whole family was blaming him to the RCMP. Where's the proof of that, Ementi? We don't have any proof that Malaya's whole family was blaming him. And RCMP made the statement that they do not do polygraphs just because somebody asked for them. They do them because they want to use them as an investigation tool. Jack and Lily need the truth. Good point, Walla. There is no other truth but the truth. There's not my truth, your truth, everyone's truth. There is the truth. That's all there is. Awesome, Joanne. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I certainly don't mean to come off that way. We don't know that Malaya even looks shocked, Osprey. I mean, that's hearsay. We don't even know that she looks shocked. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. You're you're taking, we talked about this earlier in the chat, right? You're taking things that are hearsay and running with it as if it were fact. We don't even know that Malaya looks shocked. We have no idea if that's even true. Exactly. Call the cops if it was your son. I agree. I found it disturbing that this creator was more interested in protecting Janie than actually getting the truth. And guys, that's what happens. That's what happens. That's why we don't interview family here. That's right. We can't take anything at face value. Could be neural. Was she trying to hide tire tracks? I don't know. There you go, Walla. Um, he was in here the other night. Did you miss that, Truth and Beauty? He called me. What did he call me, guys? I don't remember. What did he call me? You guys remember what he called me? And then he called chat idiots. Um, what did he say? I saved it. Oh, another sadly pathetic, useless podcaster. Sadly pathetic, useless podcaster. And that was just the other night. And he called the chat idiots. Dirtbag doucheball is probably using another name. Could be. Yeah. In the rain. It's cold. It makes no sense, does it, Tammy? Yes, Sandra. Critical thinkers, not blown about by every little change in the wind. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I've been trying to say. You said it best. I am not good at sucking up to possibly suspect in the disappearance of children. Yeah. See, that would be another reason why I would not want anybody on here. Because if I suspected a person of doing something and I could not be impartial. It's just not in me to do that. Sorry, guys. I know that's my fault. One of my faults. Hi, JDR. Especially a shovel or a load of gravel or even a gun, Sandra. uh, you keep going back to Malehya saying him like she hated him. Yeah, I agree. If these children were hidden, someone would have seen them. Yeah. It. I mean, not to mention they're putting themselves in trouble legally with the law. I mean that is kidnapping. serious offense. Stupid, stupid. Not to mention, um, taking care of two children is not cheap. Um, just yeah, I don't believe that they were taken. 150K. Well, there's $500,000 on the table for Sebastian, and nobody's jumping at it. So, yeah, that would be interesting. I don't think you'll see that until things are said and done. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be a lot of fun. You know what will really be interesting, guys, is if this does go to trial for whatever reason, you know, um, and we're looking at all the evidence that's coming out, right? And discussing it like, whoa, whoa, okay, we heard that, but we weren't sure, right? Yes. RCMP knows a lot more than the public knows. Tammy has just spoken with them. They said there's a lot going on behind the scenes. They cannot share the details, but yes, the very active and busy case behind the scenes, guys. Okay. You keep asking Daniel about Thursday night, just crickets. Yeah, the night before. What are they hiding, guys? Oh, yeah. He's jumping right in there trying to cover things up from the get go. But does he really think that's going to work? Seriously. All right. So we're going on 2.5 hours, guys. My goodness. So we may have different religions, different languages, different colored skin, but we all belong to one human race. And I found this grannyism because the reason I was thinking about it was because of what happened with Belinda and the chief, right? Um, and don't get me wrong, I do not think Belinda is racist. So I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. Okay. I just think that racism is not a part of this case and it should not be. Okay. So I want to make that clear. Wow. I was really behind, huh? Uh, thank you, Tammy. Yeah, the mill is off and on, so whether he's working one day or 4 doesn't really matter. We were told tonight that the new girlfriend does not have children. The friend made it clear, okay? So the new girlfriend does not have children, guys. So if you hear that out there again, please set the record straight, okay? The new girlfriend does not have children. Okay? All right, guys. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Great conversation. I'm sorry I missed a lot of the chat, but I looked over, we're 2.5 hours in, and I was 2 hours before that. So kind of done talking for tonight. But I appreciate and love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Oh, and please, please hit the like button on your way. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.